Hello, good morning. I just want to point out to everybody that this is not a paid production, and also that this video especially, it's not necessarily for the faint-hearted. Now, earlier this week, I did a video about the infections that I had on my left leg. Now, yesterday I was extremely lucky. I managed to get in to see my doctor. I did phone up in the morning, like most surgeries do expect you to do now, and I didn't get in. And what they recommended I do, this is the actual receptionist, was that I rang the 111 service, not go to hospital, but ring 111. And if they thought it was necessary, they would try to get me in to see my GP, or if not my GP, an after hours surgery. I got the call back from my GP and they said, right, come in straight away if you can, within the next 15-20 minutes, and we will have a look at your leg. They had a look at my leg and they took like a swab of cells off my skin, and they put it in like one of the test tubes, and they're going to send it off to a dermatologist lab. They also gave me antibiotics, which I've already been on before. I got the dates wrong. Originally, I thought I'd had them like 2 weeks ago, but I hadn't. I had them actually in August. So it's been a very long time that I've had these infections. And they gave me some antibiotic cream. I will try to remember to write down the cream that I was given. So I have took photographs of my legs, and obviously anyone who watches my previous video will see what they looked like previously. Now, obviously, my biggest concern was, maybe the reason the infection has spread is because I'm using plasters and I don't shave my legs. But either way, it needed sorting. So straight away, if you the cream itself hasn't been 100% absorbed into my skin, but straight away I can see a difference in the actual swelling around the infected, like in the infected area and where the bite is. So it's not going to happen overnight. I have been given another course of antibiotics for a week, and I'm supposed to take 4 a day. So again, do not be negligent. If you take our prescribed antibiotics, always finish the recommend, what you've been prescribed by your doctor. Don't think, I'm feeling better, I won't finish it. Okay, you have to finish the antibiotics. So basically, these two here, if you look at my previous video, they were not there with the other video I previously made. What happened yesterday is I woke up in the morning and around this one, the infection had kind of spread to there. And around this one here, these two appeared. Now, at first, what actually it felt like was under the skin that it was lumpy and bumpy. And so what they've done is they've given me this cream and an antibiotic cream, and obviously antibiotics to take because these appeared. So again, I was concerned as to whether, because obviously I was putting plasters on, maybe when I've pulled the plaster off, the hair follicles have got infected. So that may or may not be the root cause. And then on this bit here, the same thing happened. These appeared yesterday morning, and further down you can actually see where the original sort of infection was. So again, if anything like this ever happens, please seek medical attention straight away. Do not leave it. So that's what I ended up doing. So I'll take some photographs and I will put them online. And again, I will have a record as to whether or not these improve over the next sort of week or not. They also, like I did say earlier, they did take a swab from this one, and it would have been this one here. And that's being sent off to a lab to see whether or not they can see what the bacteria might be that is causing the infection. Now, one of the good things I do know is that because I was in hospital on the Sunday and I had to have blood work done, and I'd already previously had blood work done as routine for another health problem I have. My blood's done every 6 months. This infection is not entered my bloodstream. If it had, it would have showed up on my blood work. So I know that I've not had sepsis. It has not got to the point where these infections have caused septicemia. However, the thing with septicemia is it is life-threatening, and if in doubt, go straight to hospital. Do not mess around with sepsis. They kept asking me over and over and over again to basically clarify that I was not suffering from septic shock, which you do not want to be suffering from septic shock, trust me. It is very serious. And like I said, in the olden days, something simple like a little cut or graze like this, 9 times out of 10, you would have died of sepsis. You would have died of an infection. In today's society, we're quite lucky. We do have medicine that can help. But again, you don't want to have to keep going on antibiotics because they do weaken the immune system. So, like I said, I mean, I will video these. And the other thing I think I would mention if I do a review for the doctor surgery is if the cream, not the antibiotics, the actual cream that I was prescribed was something potentially that could just be brought over the counter at a pharmacist. Maybe it can't because there might be an ingredient in there, which is why it has to be prescribed by a doctor. I don't know. Then I could have literally have gone into a pharmacist and brought this cream 12 weeks ago, and this infection probably would not have still been here now. So I can see why certain medicines, after so many years or after so many clinical trials or research, can just be brought from a pharmacy. One of the ones I have to take literally every day of the week is Buscopan. It's a bit of a taboo subject because if you do try and claim benefits from the government, such as personal independent payments, Buscopan can now be purchased from your pharmacist. I was put on Buscopan originally when I was 16. It's an antispasmodic, and you could not buy it from the chemist. You had to get it from your GP. It was a medication that had to be regulated. It was a medication that you couldn't just go into a pharmacist and buy, like paracetamol or ibuprofen. And I am a real strong believer in the fact that, yes, although it's good to try and self-medicate, you don't have a medical degree. So in many ways, I do not think that certain medicine should just be accessible. But for whatever reason, the government or the FDA, Food and Drugs Administration, I think that's what it stands for, have said, oh yeah, aspirin, paracetamol, Cocodamol, again, codeine you could not get when I was 16 over the counter. You had to be prescribed that by your GP. And all the government basically have done is said, oh yeah, you can now buy all this stuff over the counter. So if anyone genuinely has a health problem, the likelihood is you're never going to know, because you're just going to be like, oh, I'm in pain, I'll go and buy paracetamol. Oh, it's not working. Okay, I'll try ibuprofen. Okay, that's not working. Okay, I'll try codeine. That's not working. Okay, I'll try morphine, which you used to be able to purchase, which was kaolin and morphine. So self-diagnosing is not the best route to go down. But like I said, it took 20 years for me to be formally diagnosed with what was wrong with me. And because a lot of my medication can now be bought from a pharmacist, the government is saying, well, how can that be classed as a disability? But obviously I don't want to get into that. But please, 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 it even says it on the labels. Follow the instructions when taking this medication. If your symptoms persist for more than 3 days, seek medical attention. Obviously, I'm 40 now, so my rule of thumb is 10. I know myself that if I'm ill for more than 10 to 12 days, then I need to see a doctor. If I've had like a bite on my leg and it's still there within 12 weeks, I will conceal medical attention. And the reason is otherwise I would literally be wasting, in my personal opinion, NHS time, NHS money, because I literally, every year, every summer, I always get bitten. My legs are always covered in bites, anywhere between May straight through to maybe November. And if I went to the doctor's surgery every time I got bit, I would feel like shit, because I am taking away the opportunity for someone who's more ill than me to see a doctor. But then again, like I've said before, some bites, if it was a tick, for example, which this one isn't, can be life-threatening. So use your own initiative, but I would always say, and this is what they keep telling me at the hospital and they keep telling me at the doctor's surgery, if in doubt, contact us. Do not feel guilty for seeking medical assistance. Otherwise, if you don't, and then it gets worse, you're worried about taking up NHS space. I could have potentially then have, for something silly like a bite on my leg, which could have been healed 12 weeks ago, I could have ended up with sepsis, which I haven't, and then I would have ended up taking a bed space from somebody that may have needed it for, I don't know, something a little bit more severe, like a heart attack or a brain seizure or something. But so if in doubt, ring 111. Okay? So thank you very much. And if you have any questions or queries or want to make any comments, please don't hesitate to do so.